Good day, colleagues. Thank you, Leandre, for introducing me. I hope you can hear me from your side.
Yes, perfect.
Thank you. Colleagues, welcome to eThuto Talk. Today, I'm going to share with you information on how to design your own infographic. If you have attended previous sessions with Fainant, this should be a walk in the park for you. But those that missed the session, it's a good way to catch up. So I'm going to start my presentation. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yep, we're good to go.
Thank you. So today we're going to cover infographics. In brief session, let's just grab what infographic means. An infographic is a visual representation of information or data, according to Oxford Dictionary. It's a collection of imagery, charts, and minimal text that gives an easy to understand overview of a topic. Basically, when you want to communicate visually, then you use an infographic. Infographics are creative, they grab attention, they are visually appealing, they're exciting and they're engaging. But the main thing that we are trying to do when we create an infographic, we're trying to say a lot of things using few words. But why would we want to say a lot of things using few words? Because we want to push comprehension, easy understanding. We want recall, we want faster digestion of huge information. So infographics, they simplify complex information, they exhibit information in a way that is memorable, and they communicate information in a very quick way. There are different types of
Oronila, we've lost your audio. Can you just double check your audio feed, please? Still nothing, Oronila? We can still see your screen. We just can't hear you. All right, colleagues, just give Oronila a second. She's just resetting her settings. Okay, so while we wait for Oronila to get her setup correct, I was wondering if you, from the audience, if you can tell me what topics you'd like us to cover for next week eThuto Talks. Is there anything that anyone is interested in learning regarding educational technology? Please, now is a good time to let me know so that I can start preparing for the next one. So you can put it in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself, just share with us what you think we should cover for the next topic. It can be anything related to eThuto, or it can be educational technology that you've heard of and want to explore some more, or Google Suite or Office 365, anything. Let me know and tell me what you think is a good topic for next week. Anyone?
Hello, Leandre.
Hi, Christu.
How are you?
Good, and yourself?
Also fine. I was somehow or somewhat busy the past few weeks, so I don't know if you did cover connect yard, but I would like to get some more training on connect yard.
Yeah, we can do that.
If possible.
All right. So I'll put connect yard on my list.
I just want to say Oranelli is busy to restart, so just give her a moment.
I see
And I'm quite worried about Chris though, because he are the guru and of Connect Yard, and now you want to be trained in good. I think he must do the training for us. I see. Or Oranelli is back, so just give it back to her.
All right, thanks, Oranile. Sorry to have lost you there for a second, but happy to have you back. Everyone's watching and attentive, so please continue.
Colleagues, please tell me where you lost me. I wasn't even aware that I'm kicked out of the system.
One more slide. So just go on one more slide. Just advance one.
Ooh. I think it's the weather that's affecting my network.
Too cold for work today. All right, one more. We've seen this one.
Okay, and this one?
There we go. If you can continue from here, we're good.
Yeah, colleagues, please bear with me. I think there's a network problem on Welcome Campus. I don't know why it kicked me out. So as I was saying, why would we want to use infographics? We want to use it because it simplifies complex information, it exhibits information in a memorable way, and it communicates information quickly. So there are different types of infographics. I'm sure you've used infographics before. There's statistical, there's informational, there's timelines, there's process infographics, there's geographical comparison, there's hierarchical, and there's list infographics. Statistical infographics will basically look more like these two infographics on your site, and they usually visualize survey results, or they present data from multiple sources. They usually tell a story behind the data. Informational infographic, they're very pretty straightforward. They communicate new and specialized concepts, and they give a summary of a topic. Timeline infographics, they visualize a history of something, or they highlight important dates, or it gives an overview of events. And process infographics is basically a summary of or an overview of steps in a process. And hierarchical one, I'm sure all of us have bumped into Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That's an example of hierarchical infographic. And the geographical infographic will look like this, and usually we use map charts as a focal visual. A comparison one, usually when you want to compare options in an unbiased way, or you want to make one option seem better, you will use a comparison infographic, and it will usually have a split line, whether vertically or horizontally, just to show you the difference or compare between two options. List infographic is also pretty straightforward. The goal is just to make the list eye-catching, just a basic list in an eye-catching way. And I think today we are going to try to design a basic list infographic. There's 5 steps that you can follow when you want to create an infographic. You can identify the goal of your infographic, then you can collect your data, then the designing part starts. You start visualizing the data using icons and stuff for the data, and then you just lay out your information, you combine it with the pictures, and then you check it, and then you can share it with your audience. So now I'm going to share another screen with you where we are going to try to create one simple basic list infographic together. Can you see the second screen?
Yes, we can see.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to try to create something like this, something pretty basic. This is a example of a list infographic. Just try to follow the steps, but like I said, if you have attended Renan's previous classes on PowerPoint, this is going to be a walk in the park for you. So I'm going to create a new slide, blank slide. Let me just try to copy one so that I remember how to create something like this. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to grab this rectangle. I'm going to draw it. I want the rounded part at the bottom, so I'm going to rotate this one so that it faces a little bit up. Okay, let me just try to reduce the size a little bit, and then I'm going to remove the outline because I don't want my shape to have an outline, and I'm going to grab another shape with shift. I'm going to draw it in the middle of the first shape. I'm going to remove the outline because I don't want outlines on my shapes. Then I'm going to press shift and click on the first shape, then the second shape. Then I'm going to, where is my merging? Now I can't find my tool, my merging tool. Okay, let me click on it again. My merging tool will appear. Why can't I find all my tools, Raymond?
If you can just right click on it, right click where you are on that, right click and see what you get.
No, you must go to the shape format, be on top, go to shape format on the right hand side. Just go to the right hand side. Now you're going left,
yes.
go right, there it is, yes.
Yes, yes.
And there is the merge shaping.
Yes, I found it. Thank you. Thank you. I wonder what happened to my tools. Okay. So if you can, okay, let me just backtrack. I select the first shape and the second shape, and then I click on shape format, and then I will subtract the circle so that I get sort of this sort of upper shape. Then I create another rectangle similar on top of this one. Then I remove the outline, and then I'm going to change the color to this yellow, and I'm going to put it here. I'm going to go back to my shape. I'm going to change this one. So I'm going to change the color of this one. I'm going to make it white because this one is white on our side. But for us to see the effects of this one, we can change our background to gray. Just so we see all our colors clearly. So I click on this one, then I'm trying to get an effect on this shape. I click here, then I click on effects. I'm trying to add a shadow. shadow is darker, so I'll choose black. And then I'll increase the transparency a little bit. And then the size of the shadow. You can play around with these tools just to see what happens when you press each tool. So I'm just going to put it on 112. It's fine for me. I'm going to blur it a little bit because it's a bit too dark. Then I'm going to put an angle at 0. And then the distance is fine, but it's still too a little bit dark. So I'm going to reduce it a little bit. It's a bit too dark. Yes, that's better. And then from there onwards, I'm happy with my settings. I will put this one on top and I will send it to the back. Or rather, let me send this one to the front. Then you can see I get this shape already. I click just to give it a little bit of space for text. Then I go to insert. Then I insert a text box just to have some type in. Then I will type info. I will style my word to, I'll just use something bold and then maybe increase it a little bit so that it's in the middle. Put it in the middle. And then I will also change my font to white. There we already have what we need. We can create another text box. Just to get this number similar to this one, and we type in 1, we style it again. We can choose something a bit bold again, and then we can increase the size of the number to 54. We can put it in the middle for styling, and then we can change the color. Then we already have the first part. Now I'm looking for these words. We already know how to create a text box by now. So I'm just going to, let me not do that. Let me just not be lazy and just type it again. Insert, text box. And then we can type here, testing 1. We can style our text again. We can make it bolder in the middle with the same color as the upper part of our design. Then we can create another text box. Then we can just type whatever information we want, style the text again. Then we are getting somewhere. And then because it's an infographic, we want to add an icon. We can add an icon. You can search whatever icon that you want. You can say, we can choose this one. Then we can put it inside our shape. And then we can change the color of our info, of our icon to whatever color we want. Now we are done with the first one. We can increase this one so that it looks a bit, it can stand out, it looks more like a heading. Then we are done with our first one. So now I want to take this one, with Shift and this one to group it, and I will click Control G to group the two, and then I will click on Shift. I will press Shift and I will click on the shape, and I will click on this one and this one and this one just to group everything together, and I will click on Control G to group everything together. I will let me try to send this to the back so that that heading comes back. There, it's back. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to copy this because I've grouped it together. I will press Alt Control Shift to make a duplicate of this first image and the second one and the third one. I think it's fine like this. And then I realized this wasn't grouped. It wasn't grouped with that one, but it's fine. So I can change the colors. I can also change the icons to any icon that I want. I can use maybe this one. I can remove this one and replace it with a new one. Make it a bit bigger. Change the color so that it looks like the heading. I can change the color. I just repeat the same sequence again with different colors. I can make it blue, make this one blue as well, make this blue as well. I can change the icon as well. Then I can use this one. Oopsie. I can remove this icon, enlarge my new icon, change the color of my new icon to blue, and I can change this last one to green. Everything will be consistent with green. And I can also change the icon to any other icon that correlates with the text. And I can also change the color of this icon to match the heading. That's basically it. So I can take a text box again to create the heading. And I can just type in the infographic, style it, put it in the middle, make it a bit bolder and bigger, and maybe make the color a little bit softer. Just too soft. This is better. And then I can create these little shapes. I can take this with Shift, draw a little circle, copy it, just to make more, to give it some sort of style. Oopsie. Okay, my computer takes a bit of time to respond. So let's just wait for it. Okay, I'm going to delete that. Just duplicate all of these circles. And I delete this one. I'm going to duplicate, no. Okay, so I can just change the colors to match the colors of the infographic. Any other color, just to give it some consistency. That's basically how I created this list, basic list infographic. Any questions? Are we still there, colleagues?
Everyone is still here.
I'm still here. It's interesting because I believe from this you can make hyperlinks to different things on your presentations. So yeah, I think it's nice.
Yes. The thing about infographics, I've been using other softwares to create infographics, and I found it very interesting when I saw Venom could do a lot of things in PowerPoint. You know, I usually use paid software, Adobe software, and when I saw what PowerPoint can do, this became a point of interest for me to say, you don't have to be a graphic designer to create graphic appealing things. We have PowerPoint and we've got all the tools. So I went on and tried it, and there it's working. So I think we can take it to our advantage because we all have PowerPoint. So we can find many different ways of presenting information in a more appealing and comprehensive way.
Onele, I also find it very interesting. Sorry, I find it also very interesting because you remember we did something with a thermostat. Somehow the thing was moving upwards, and it's also possible to use that same technique here and shift a card out of that. That info type 1, for example, could be shifted out of it, and it will be quite interesting to do that. Yeah, and with a bit of you could make quite interesting things about this. And I also hear what Christo said, to link it to certain parts. You could also link it and open some other things out with that. Yeah, it will be quite interesting to play around with it. Thank you very much, Arlene.
Pleasure. Any more comments, colleagues?
I think what's also what one can do is, for instance, make different slides. Let's say, for instance, how things develop. Let's say the same slide. First slide is where you do the bottom part. Second slide is where you do the top part, and so on. And then in a slideshow, when it runs, it actually shows how the one adds and until it's a complete thing.
Yes, it doesn't have to be static. You can put it can just come in as you speak. You can make interesting processes, interesting timelines, you know, with animations and everything, just to make it a bit more interesting and more live. Yes, absolutely. I agree. Any more comments, colleagues?
So I just want to add one comment. I think if you did make one, all the work is done, then you just could copy and paste it, and it's quite easy to do the rest in. So it's not such a lot of work. It looks like a lot of work, but it's not such a lot of work on the end of the day. And it looks great and quite colorful.
Yes.
You know, I was just thinking, and I haven't used it before, with design ideas, because then I think one would get some of this under the design ideas as well to fast track what you want to do.
Yes,
I don't know.
absolutely.
I haven't used design ideas yet, but I've heard that that's also a nice tool.
Yes, I also I know there's a lot of websites as well. Suppose someone feels challenged to create a lot of infographics, or maybe they find this one simple and they see another one somewhere that requires maybe more time. You can check, there's a lot of websites where you can get free templates, but just check the copyright rules on it. But otherwise, you can get a template and just customize it. There's even websites, they give you a template and you can do it live on the website and then download it after and then use it for your class. So it's not all lost. So we can just go on the internet and try those websites. Thank you, colleagues. I think we are done. Is there any more questions? Any more questions? Okay, so I'm checking on the chat.
Okay, so
And
colleagues, I'm not
we-
seeing a lot going on in the chats, people making contributions there and everything. Before we let off, I want to give you all the opportunity to ask questions regarding any other technologies, or not technology, sorry, eTuto things that you might have been struggling with this week. If there's anything that somebody wishes to ask, we can quickly use the rest of this time. We still have about 20 minutes that I can use to show you anything else that you need to know on eTuto. So if anyone has anything there, let me know.
Leandri, I don't know if this is a space to ask, but you know, I do a lot of work on eThuto, and I see most of us do, but I'm lecturing or is responsible for creating presentations on Sites 200. And I do a lot of it, but I've got, you know, you get stuck into a mindset. And I was wondering if I perhaps on this platform can show you what I'm doing and just get some inputs, perhaps that you say, but no, you don't need to do it like that, do it like this, or, you know, because you are so in a way of doing it and you don't think out of a box anymore, you know. I don't know if it's possible at some stage.
Please. Go ahead and share with us. Ideally, we want this space to turn into kind of like a conversation space. So please, this is perfect. So share with us what you're doing and then we'll all pitch in.
Okay, so must I share it now?
Yes, please.
Okay, but now I must first try to get to that share thing because it's on my Blackboard. Let me try to open up my Blackboard. Where's my Blackboard?
While Christo is busy, I just want to say, I think, Ornelli, you will add this also to the eThuto CUT talks, hey? The PowerPoint, and we will also put a video on the CUT talks.
Yes, I will do so.
Right.
And I will also share the presentation.
Thank you very much, because I see there's some guys asking that in the chat also now.
Yes.
How do I okay, let me just go to this side now. It's still opening.
Colleagues, while Chris is getting his presentation ready or his Blackboard ready, if any of you like to have the recording of this session, please just drop your email address in the chat box and I will forward the recording to you as soon as I've processed it.